Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Prophet Adam and the Garden Path. Today, let's discuss what it means to be a Caliph of the earth. In the Quran, we're told that Adam alayhi salam is a Caliph of the earth. He is an inheritor of the earth. We could look at this a few different ways, and it applies to Adam as a particular human being, but also to all of humanity, because Adam represents individual and collective humanity. He is individually himself, but each one of us is actually an Adam. We are the children of Adam and also Adam himself in some sense. This may sound strange. This would include women as well, because Hawa comes from Adam, and she is an expression of Adam and is Adam. She's just a female expression of humanity. So in a sense that everything that we read about as Adam, biblically, Quranically, would also be Eve as well, or what we read about Eve or Hawa, peace be upon her, is also Adam. This is paradoxical and strange, I realize. And I wish that I could put it in terms that are easier to understand, but perhaps this is worth praying with and contemplating. Now, in the Quran, Allah declares Adam a caliph of the earth. He is also able to name everything. You know, Allah gives him the names. He is able to name everything within creation. Now, this is interesting. How can he name everything in creation? First off, to name something, we have to be very observant. We have to read very accurately. We have to see clearly, meaning we've got to be very present with the object, the person, the place, the thing, or the idea. And we have to be able to connect with it in some way. Think about it, contemplate it, appreciate it. Even to appreciate something that is harmful or hurtful or difficult or challenging or dangerous, we have to be able to energetically see what it is clearly, and we have to read it. So think about this. When it comes to Adam alayhi salam, he is made of sacred soil. That sacred soil is kun created. He is also made from sacred living water. That water is kun created. So he's made from sacred clay, which is kun created. So we have the theme of sacred living water, sacred soil, the combination of sacred clay, which is our genetic structure, and we also have kun. All right, that's even, and then we've got ruh. So all these things that I've just mentioned interconnect us as a human species with one another. We are all connected through these various factors. And I would say that people who think that they have these things figured out have limited themselves and limited Allah, because we do not have these things figured out. We can be contemplating these things for eternity and still be deriving new insight and new understanding. So we, having this sacred clay, this sacred kun created clay, and we are soaked in ruh. This kun created clay is all around us throughout this entire world. So basically everything that has an atomic structure, we are interlinked with. We are interconnected with. So this is a very interesting thing to consider. This is part of, and also through the ruh somehow. We'll discuss the ruh a little bit more. This is something that I haven't gotten my head wrapped around yet. This is a very sophisticated topic and a very interesting topic, but it's related to inspiration. It's related ruh, breath, spirit, spiritus. It's similar to prana, to chi. Prana from the Indian traditions, from the South Asian traditions. Chi from the Chinese traditions, Qi from the Japanese traditions, divine breath, spirit, spiritus from the Latin traditions, pneuma from the Greek traditions, if I'm remembering these things correctly. They are all related to sacred breath. And this is where we get inspiration from, and it's related to the prophetic reality somehow. You know, remember there's that hadith where our Nabi, peace be upon him, he says that I was a prophet when Adam was still between clay and water, or soil and water, between earth and water. So, speaking about the prophetic reality, which it precedes and predates our embodiment as humans. I do not pretend to understand this. Allahu alam. These are very complicated topics. Fascinating to me, though. However, I do believe that the ruh helps us to understand and be present and to derive insight from all of creation, which is interconnected, interdependent, and interpenetrating. So, since we're interconnected with all of creation and we're literally made from the same stuff, the only thing that's different between us and all of creation, including all creatures, is this ruh somehow. Everything is kun created, which makes every single thing in the entire creation sacred. And means that we should always minimize suffering to all of creation. This gets us back to what it means to be a Caliph of the earth. Now, as a Caliph of the earth, we have the ability to be present. I would argue that it is a mistaken notion to be thinking about caliphs like single historical individuals. This is highly problematic. What I would argue is that each one of us, when we come into our mature humanity, we embody our Adamic prophetic reality right here and right now. Our Nabi, peace be upon him, is the final prophet in a series of prophets. In our tradition, we say 124,000 prophets. We have the day of Alast where, am I not your Lord? Allah said to us, and we made a type of covenant with him that day. We made an agreement to take this journey, to enter into this realm as humans and come into our full maturity. And as caliphs, we are sovereign, free humans. That means that we are free to roam the entire world as caretakers, as guardians, as guides. In our mature state, we can interact with all of creation. We can see things as they are. We can recognize them by studying their qualities, their quantities. We can study very closely what they do, what their qualities, their characteristics and traits are. So we can enter very deeply into this reality. We are as Muslims first commanded. Our first commandment in the Quran is Iqra, read. So we are to read reality very closely. The inner reality within ourselves, within our Adamic reality, we're to read our clay, we're to read our water, our soil. We are to listen very carefully for kun. Because everything is text, everything is signs and symbols and is legible, is textual, is readable, is discernible, is applicable, is practical information to derive knowledge and then apply that knowledge in a wise manner and then to contemplate and analyze and derive insight, to be transformed, to be made mature, upright as humans. And as sovereign human beings, that means we're free completely. We can travel the whole earth with this. And we are not to control or own others. We are to be caretakers. We are trustees. Allah has given us all of creation as a trust. And we are the caretakers of all of creation, of one another, of humanity. We are to be caring for the poor, the widows, the orphans, the vulnerable, the innocent, whether they are Muslim or non-Muslim. Matter of fact, we're to care for not just the humans, but also non-humans, to the mammals, to the reptiles, the amphibians, all of the ecosystems, all of creation is within our care. So we are not to have dominion over it in a dominant sense. This is highly problematic. We are not to be totalitarian. little lords. We're not to lord it over creation. This is very, very problematic, very dangerous, in fact. And all of history lets us know the problems of this. So, as a matter of fact, many of the things we're dealing with in our current context, Allah has given us a very clear way of contemplating authority, of contemplating enslavement, of contemplating life and genocide. We are to protect life, to appreciate life, to enhance life, to minimize harming and enhance livability, to optimally organize creation. To organize things within creation for optimal and most beneficial opportunity to attain enlightenment. I didn't put that very well, but the goal is for us to live an enlightened lifestyle, an enlightened, ethical, and pure way of life. As upright, mature men and women, we are to raise our babies all across the world to be the most excellent humans. We are not to dominate over one another. There is no one who is superior to anyone except in taqwa, except in piety. And I have not yet met a mature man or woman. Not yet. I'm looking for them. Inshallah, we will all become mature together. Inshallah, because we are told that there is a harvest. According to Isa alayhi salam, the second Adam, there will be a harvest of humanity in the times before the Son of Man returns. Who is the Son of Man? We are the Son of Man. We are the sons of Adam alayhi salam, the daughters of Adam alayhi salam. So, as the sons of Adam, we are the inheritors of the world. And the meek shall inherit the earth. The peacemakers shall inherit the earth. Those who are humble, who are upright, who are in harmony with one another and with nature. We are to turn our hearts back to our fathers, to our ancestors, and to our descendants. Everything we do should be showing respect and appreciation to the best of those who have come before. And even the worst of us have made beneficial, helpful efforts. If we only knew. You would not have any positive, healthy thoughts, words, or actions if your ancestors did not also have positive thoughts, words, or actions. So, we are to be caliphs of the earth. We are to be caretakers. We are to be guardians. We are to be gardeners. We are to be guides. And we are to organize our societies and our movements in a manner that optimizes conditions for enlightenment to arise and insight to arise, transformational insight for us as individuals and for us as a collective. This is the time, and each one of us is born to be a caliph of the earth. We were born to be an Adam. We were born to be a Hawa. So let's consider this and do not get too caught up in, like I know that many Muslims are obsessed with the idea of having a caliphate and of having a caliph. Allah will not change our status until we change what is in our hearts. And what I'm suggesting to you is that you're looking for a single individual leader, and Allah has called each one of us to be a sovereign, critical thinking, intuitive, mature, healthy human, man or woman. We are not to own creation. We are not to dominate it. We are not to be tyrants. We are not to be dominators. We are not to harm others. We are to eliminate harm and suffering to the greatest extent possible, to minimize it, to alleviate it. Look at the themes of the Quran and the Bible. You will see. This is the prophetic tradition. May we all realize the prophetic reality. May we all be made upright. May we all be the most excellent caliphs of the earth. Until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.